Hello, this is Doe Wilkerson back again with another edition of Old School Boxing Talk. It's been a while. I know I've had a lot of things going on in my life. But as always, the one thing I can always count on in my life is boxing. So let's get to it. Um, yeah, it's a little late in the year because we're in April here, and this is my first video of the year, so I've been busy. Anywho, this one I wanted to drop because one of the things that have been holding me back of doing anything, with this is I hate the freaking racial tension that's been going on in boxing. Recently, Terrence Crawford Amir Khan fight took place, and going in that fight, Bob Arum, who's one of the biggest lion sacks of human feces. And let me explain to you what a big piece of crap Bob Arum is. Dana White, who doesn't even compete in boxing, Dana White has come out publicly and just bashed Bob Arum. Dana White has never bashed Oscar. Well, yeah, he's bashed Oscar too. But he's never bashed Al Heyman because maybe him and Al just did work together, with the Conor McGregor Floyd thing. But the point of the matter is, Oscar De La Hoya and Bob Arum have been the two promoters that Dana White, who's in MMA, has come out and bashed. And for good reason, because Bob Arum and Oscar De La Hoya are both pieces of garbage. Now, I'm not saying that Floyd Mayweather's any better, because it seems like Floyd's no better either. But here's my problem. It seems like there's a couple other boxing media who are supposed to be impartial, and they're supposed to, the media's job is to tell the story, not to give their opinion of a story. We got guys like Steve Kim and a couple of these other Ring Magazine writers that seem to have decided to tell you, the boxing fan, tell us all that this is how boxing is divided. Oscar De La Hoya has the Latinos, Bob Arum has the Eastern Europeans, and Al Heyman has the blacks. That's how it's being done now. And being that, if that's the case, we as boxing fans should not listen to any of the boxing media. That's why all these YouTube channels with boxing fans who are not, I repeat, not in the pockets of these bastards, are so popular. Now, this is disturbing because they were back in the early 40s and 50s, the boxing media was legit. They were the ones who were breaking stories on the Black Murders Row, and they were the ones pushing for other African American fighters who deserved title fights to get those fights. And now we have a boxing media that is being bought and paid for, and Doug Fisher, Steve Kim, in the pocket of Golden Boy and ESPN, whoever the hell else will pay for them, Dan Rafael in the pocket of ESPN and any other buffet buster he can get into. And unfortunately, you're not getting unbiased views of what's really going on in boxing. Because what's happened is this. Oscar De La Hoya bought Ring Magazine. He told the world, he lied and said, "Oh, I will not make Ring Magazine the official publication of Golden Boy." Wrong. He does. Everybody on that staff has to toe the line to an extent of what Oscar's vision is to promote and push up Golden Boy fighters. And it seems like we got this thing where it's Latinos and Eastern European against the blacks. And that's kind of fucked up. I understand boxing at its core is a tribal sport. It is. It's your tribe against my tribe, against whatever. Understand that. But when we start going and taking boxing backwards instead of forward, we all lose. And the only ones that makes money are these idiots at the top. Now, recently Bob Arum made some claims saying after the Crawford Khan fight, which was a Khan, I've always said Amir Khan is a great Khan. That he wants to Crawford, he wants to Spence fight, and we shouldn't watch PBC or anything until they give us that fight. Bob, aren't you the same motherfucker that helped hold up Pacquiao Mayweather forever? Aren't you the same guy who would not? Bob, you got fights in house you can make. You got Teofimo Lopez who's hounding down Lomachenko. Make that. You got Oscar Valdez who's your featherweight, and you got young Shakur Stevenson. Make that. I understand the fact that you fucked up to the point where you don't have any welterweights with Terrence Crawford to fight. And let's go back to 2018 when you, Bob Arum, when the boxing media was going to make Terrence Crawford Fighter of the Year, you convinced them to give it to Lomachenko. So let's not come out here and act like now you're Team Crawford, that Terrence Crawford means so much. You guys, I don't know what your pay-per-view numbers are, but I don't think they're going to be as good as Earl Spence versus Mike Garcia. You guys just started promoting the damn fight to like 2 weeks before the fight. You weren't even promoting the damn fight. It's kind of funny to me that Bob Arum, who's a man been in this business for like over 50, whatever, how many years they say he's in, 50, whatever years, who's come up with, and these are fighters that Bob Arum has promoted: Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Donald Curry, Mike McCallum, Mike Weaver for a time, but Bob Arum does not know how to promote to black people. Huh? You don't know how to promote to black people? Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, John the Beast Mugabe, Donald Curry. Who were they? Who were they, Bob? I think they were black. And you made billions with them. But you don't know how to promote to black people, because when it came time for you with Floyd Mayweather, you didn't know how to promote to black people. Maybe black people changed. Don't know. But somewhere along the line, between after Hagler and Curry, between Hagler and Curry, and by the time you got Mayweather, you forgot how to promote to black people. That's interesting. Okay, so just, Bob Arum is the biggest piece of garbage, because Bob Arum is one of these people that Bob Arum and Oscar De La Hoya keep bringing up the race card. I'm not saying there's nothing being done on the PBC side, because I don't know, but if it is being done over there, here's what we don't know. It's not being put out in the public. Oscar De La Hoya never answered for those racist emails when he was, trying to sue Al Heyman and lost. Had to do with Ring Magazine, which is why I personally do not buy Ring Magazine, because of their bias. Doug Fisher, Steve Kim, no. Michael Montero, who I like, but Mike, you're on the fence with me. I do like Michael Montero, but he's on the fence with me, because my thing with Michael Montero is, I remember Max Kellerman when he was on ESPN. Max Kellerman was awesome. And then Max Kellerman, when he was doing the pre-fight things on ESPN, he was great, knowledgeable. He was awesome. Then he went to HBO. And then Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant got their hooks in him. And Max changed. And he's never been the same. This is what I don't want to see happen to Michael Montero, because yes, I know Michael Montero works for Ring Magazine, but I still and for the British publication, but I don't want to see him become that guy that was so independent and so proud and had some credibility, and just become a puppet of Doug Fisher and Steve Kim's and their agenda. I see a little bit of it, and whenever I do see it, I will call Michael out on. I'll say, "Come on, Mike," But and he's always been good to me, so I like Michael Montero. As far as the paid media, I listen to his channel. It's It's okay. But um, I am very suspect of the boxing media. I really am, and it's a shame because the people that should be honestly out there, um, being unbiased. I mean, look, they got, it's funny now. We had a situation where there was a guy, where mandatories come up, and why does this guy have the shot? Yet, let Charlo, who's Canelo's mandatory, and I don't, yet I don't hear nobody screaming for Charlo. But yet I don't feel bad for Charlo because the reason I understand unifications trump mandatories, I'll give him that. But I don't see Charlo screaming and hollering too hard because when Golden Boy and Canelo sent him that goddamn step aside money, he steps aside. So here's my thing. Um, when Canelo beats Danny Jacobs, I believe Canelo will beat Danny Jacobs. And I think it's going to be, this will be a tough tussle, but I believe Canelo has the best pedigree and the best resume in boxing. I believe Canelo's getting better. I believe Canelo beats Danny Jacobs. Now, when that happens, there's talk of Canelo Golovkin 3. Now, a lot of people saying, well, by rights, that should not be able to happen next because Charlo's supposed to get the next shot because Charlo is a WBC mandatory. When that fight happens, here's why it's going to happen. Because Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy will send Charlo another check, another one of those step-aside money checks, and he's going to take that check and he's going to fight a bunch of whatever. He's going to fight the contender boy, whatever. And Golovkin's going to get a third fight with Canelo, which he's going to lose anyways. Sometime next year, Charlo will get his shot at Canelo. And I don't know who wins the fight. I just want to see the fight. I think it's going to be a very good fight. What I'd like to see, honestly, is why isn't Boo Boo Andre? Now, that's nothing that bothers me because contradiction there. Because Canelo says he wants all the belts. And we know Golovkin wants no smoke with Andrade. Now, does the zone force this third fight with Golovkin? Or does Canelo say, no, I want all the belts and he fights Andre next? That's the question. That's the question. Who's calling the real shots here? Does Canelo make that call or does the zone make that call? Is Canelo really serious or Canelo blowing smoke up our ass? But no, a lot of times fighters could be serious. Canelo may want the damn unification, but maybe Oscar's saying, no, I don't want that fight yet. That fight will be there. So a lot of times you don't know, but here's another thing that bothers me. We all want Crawford Spence. Excuse me, it's a good fight. Damn good fight. But we all know that Earl Spence called out Sean Porter after Sean Porter beat Danny Garcia. Sean Porter hemmed and hawed, and then he struggled against Ugas. He barely got past that one. And I think after the Ugas fight, they didn't want the Spence fight, but I think after the Ugas fight, they're ready to, him and Kenny really just cashed out and get ready to get the fuck up out of there. Or go up to 154. So now all of a sudden they're making that unification fight, which makes sense. Keith Thurman, the biggest diva in the division, had decided that he's getting the Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao figuring that, I don't really want to fuck with Earl Spence, even though Manny Pacquiao got in the ring and yada yada, I did all that shit, Manny's like, I don't really want to fuck with Keith. Manny Pacquiao's ultimate goal is to get a rematch with Floyd Mayweather. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I really don't care if it happens. I don't really need to see that again anyways. I don't think much changes. But Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao is going to happen. Okay, we're going to get Thurman and Pacquiao to consolidate the WBA title. A fight I expect Thurman to win. I expect Keith Thurman to win that fight. Now, Sean Porter, Earl Spence, good fight. Yeah, unify that. Now, Bob Arum and Top Rank are crying and moaning and bitching and complaining about they need credible because they have no credible opponents over there on Top Rank. And you know what? Terrence Crawford knew this. Terrence Crawford knew this. He knew that they had no credible fights for him over there. Now Terrence Crawford is my pound for pound number one, but that is hanging by a thread. I don't usually do pound for pound, but if I did a pound for pound, Terrence Crawford would be my number one, followed by, and I'm gonna shock a lot of people, followed by Canelo. Canelo's my number two, and Lomachenko's my number three. But that's my three. But I'm saying it right now. Terrence Crawford better do something because I'm sorry, Canelo's closing in on him. You know that thing, objects in mirror closer than they appear. Canelo is closing in my opinion. Canelo is closing in on him because Canelo is fighting a better level of opposite. Did Canelo beats Jacobs? Terrence Crawford better do something by the end of because by the end of the year, mentally, Terrence Crawford might not be my number one pound for pound. And, if I start revving up, I'm going to be, if Canelo does what I think he's going to do, I'm going to start pushing Canelo because, look, Canelo's resume is better than his. I mean, Canelo's won titles in three weight. Well, okay, I'm not going to call it that one at once. I'm not counting in two weight classes, and he was unified in both of them. He was unified at junior middleweight. He was unified at he's unified now at middleweight. Terrence Crawford has only been unified at one division. Now, here's what I'd like to see Terrence Crawford do. You just came off this con. You have options. You can fight your just Green Machine who didn't look good against Robinson. You can fight Kell Brook who says he wants to fight you. Or you could do this. Go to Philly and fight Danny Garcia. Now that's a hell of a fight. See, the problem is Uncle Bob wants to lowball everybody, wants to control everything. So, Bob, take the fight to Philly. Do a co-promotional deal. You and PBC can work together. Do a co-promotional deal. You guys, Bob Arum wants everything on his own terms, and sometimes, Bob, you're not in that position to get everything on your terms. So, you need to come up with a way to get those fights. One is going to have to be worth his while. Now, Danny, you just paid Earl Spence $5 million. I mean, I'm sorry, not Earl Spence, but Terrence Crawford just made $5 million. I think Danny Garcia is making about that without him. So, if all Terrence Crawford is getting is $5 million for a con fight, Danny Garcia probably got that for beating up Granados or more. I think Danny Garcia is going to want a little bit more than $5 million to come over, $5.5 million to come over, and so I would think that I don't know, Bob, maybe offer Danny Garcia. One, does this fight belong on pay-per-view? That's the thing you got to decide, and I don't think it's. I think judging by the numbers, I don't know if that's going to be good. Depending, I think if you do it in Philly, do it in Philly in the summer. You load the undercard. And I mean load the undercard. I'm talking about maybe putting Lomachenko on the undercard, maybe Teofimo Lopez. Maybe that Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson fight. That's another seller because Shakur Stevenson from Jersey. Throw that shit in Philly? Hell yeah. Bring them Jersey fans over. Yeah. If you're gonna go pay-per-view, yeah, throw that shit on pay-per-view. If Danny Garcia versus Terrence Crawford for their title, Shakur Stevenson and Valdez, no, I'm sorry, I was thinking of Lomachenko, but Lomachenko really doesn't sell. Put some East Coast. Teofimo Lopez sells in the East Coast. Put Teofimo Lopez in there against somebody. Yeah, you could do nice numbers. Not only are you going to fill the house, but you're going to do numbers because Shakur Stevenson getting his first title shot. That's going to bring that Jersey audience. Danny Garcia is going to not only sell the arena, but he's going to get all of Philly, most of the East Coast that love Danny Garcia. They're going to, just to buy this shit. And it'll be good. Give Danny something at home. You make that fight there, and you load that undercard. Yeah, we got something. You got something that works there, and you help broaden Terrence Crawford's appeal. Now, plus the fact that I believe Danny Garcia and Terrence Crawford have a history from the amateurs. So, now you got a natural rival. You got something good to go, and that'll sell. That fight will sell. But it's a high risk, high reward type of fight. Does Bob have enough confidence? Bob is saying PBC, but I don't know if Bob really wants to fuck with Danny Garcia like that. I don't know if Bob really wants to fuck with Danny Garcia like that. But that would be Bob's call. Because what you do then is you let Earl Spencer go and fight Sean Porter. Boom. Okay, there you go. You fight Danny Garcia. Keith Thurman is going to fight Manny Pacquiao. Boom. Now, here's what happens. You then go out there and try to make the Thurman fight. Make the Thurman fight. Try to get the Thurman fight for early next year. That way you get the Thurman fight for early next year if you get the Thurman fight, because Keith is a diva. Because here's the deal. Keith Thurman has an option. Either you fight Earl Spence or you fight Terrence Crawford. If he fights Crawford, now, Bob, here you go in there. If Crawford can beat Keith Thurman, he becomes the man at welterweight. Plus, he now has 2. He's a unified champion. Now, when you come back in the fall for this fight with him and Spence, it's a bigger deal. Crawford's put a couple bodies on that, legitimate bodies at welterweight on that resume. Now you have your big fight, and you both, ESPN and Fox and Showtime, those guys can get together and they can all, pony it up, and they'll all do a good job of promoting this fight, and it'll be a nice size fight. The fight can be made, it can be built, but you have to be willing to do your part. You just can't go sitting there shitting on the people that you need. Let's understand this. You need them. They don't need you. PBC has 3 of the 4 welterweight titleists and the biggest names at welterweight, a deeper stable at welterweight. They don't need you. You need them. So I think you need to play a little nice. It's bad enough that you screwed the public out of the rematch of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. But I don't blame you as much as I blame Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury, I think, used Deontay Wilder to get himself back on top, and then he's going to make some easy money. Anthony Joshua versus Gerald Big Baby Miller was a fight nobody really wanted to begin with. Nobody gave a fuck about Big Baby Miller, let's be honest. And now AJ's going to fight another stiff. You know what, AJ, how about this? Why don't you push your shit back to August? Get Luis Ortiz and come back to the Garden and do this shit in August. That gives you time. That gives y'all time to push us back. Ortiz is probably in the gym anyway. You're in the gym. Gives you time to take a little break, then get back in the camp. Ortiz some time to get into camp. And y'all come back in late August and do this shit. That'll be a good fight there. Deontay, get you away from Wilder, because Wilder's fighting in May. Get you away from Wilder, get you some more time. And you can fight Luis Ortiz at the Garden. I think you'll do much better. I think your fear is that you're worried about Eddie's worried about getting stretched, about you getting stretched, because Luis Ortiz is no easy out. But that would be the kind of fight, AJ, that if you do take that fight and you do beat Luis Ortiz, and his only losses are to Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, that tells a lot about the level that you're at, that you will have joined Deontay Wilder in being one of the only men to beat this guy. Then, it then puts the everything in focus. You still got Mr. Lineal there, who I want to see what the hell he's going to do. Um, but there are fights to be made in boxing. I hate talking about the business end of boxing. That's the end of boxing. It's messy and nasty and just. I just want to see the best fight, the best. I know that the business has to, but I hate to see all this other crap taking place. Boys, if both fighters want to fight and these promoters want to fight, the fight can be made. Don't try to drag this out like Mayweather Pacquiao for 5 years, because I don't think people are going to sit there and wait for that bull. I don't think Earl Spence is going to stay at welterweight for that long, and I don't really think Terence Crawford's big enough to move to 154. Bob Arum, the last time you had a nice size fight that you could have made and you didn't was Yuriorkis Gamboa and Juan Ma. And when you should have made that fight, you didn't make it. What you did was Yuriorkis Gamboa beat Orlando Salido. Instead of going in there and making that fight then, what you do, you put Salido in there with Juan Ma. And Salido beat Juan Ma's ass. That derailed that fight. Because you knew that Juan Ma was he just couldn't make the featherweight limit anymore. You knew this. Instead of making that fight, you wanted to hold off because you said you had to let it marinate. Well, you over marinated that. Earl Spence only has a little bit of time. He's going to be at 147. You're doing the same thing with Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko. Teofimo Lopez has said, I can't do 135. 135 is drowning me. So he's looking at grabbing the belt at 135. He's probably never going to defend it and jumping to 140. And you know that. So yeah, okay, I hope you give him, in a way, I would like to see him get the Comey fight, but in a way, I don't want to see him get it because I want undisputed. So you can't have everything, honestly, at this point in time, you're not going to put Teofimo at 140. Start campaigning him at 140 and set him up with that Ramirez boy. Set him up to fight Ramirez boy. Set him up to fight for a title at 140. Because that's where it looks like he's going to be. You're not getting him nothing at 135. You don't want him anywhere near Lomachenko. We understand that. So let's get him out of the equation and let this boy's career go on. That's all I got for now. I'll get back to you later. This is Doe Wilkes from Old School Boxing Talk signing out.